Miguel Reyes used to be the man everyone in his family pointed to with pride, the dependable son, the clever brother, the husband who built a modest but stable life brick by brick, and when neighbors spoke his name it was usually followed by words like reliable or smart, yet life has a quiet way of unthreatening certainty, and when his wife Anna fell ill, the kind of illness that doesn't care about savings or plans, Miguel sold his car, then his office equipment, then finally his small logistics business just to keep up with hospital bills, telling himself it was temporary, that love always found a way back to balance, but it didn't, and after Anna passed, leaving behind silence where laughter once lived, Miguel took the first job he could find, mopping floors at night in a glass tower downtown so his daughter Sofia could keep her school uniform clean and her future intact. At first his family said nothing, then they said less, then they stopped asking altogether, his brothers changing the subject when work came up, his mother offering sighs instead of questions, and Sofia, only 14 but already sensitive to the way classmates measured worth, slowly distancing herself, embarrassed when friends asked what her dad did, replying vaguely, as if his job were a secret better kept buried. Miguel felt it all, the way respect evaporates not in one dramatic moment but in thousands of small glances avoided, and still he showed up every night, pushing his cart through hallways that smelled of lemon cleaner and ambition, humming old songs Anna used to love, believing that dignity came from persistence even if no one clapped for it. The night everything shifted began like any other, Miguel polishing a long conference table long after executives had gone home, when the elevator chimed and a woman stepped out alone, heels in one hand, jacket slung over her arm, eyes sharp but tired, the kind of tired that money can't buy away, and when she startled slightly at seeing him, Miguel apologized instinctively, explaining he'd be done soon, but instead of brushing past him she sat down, rubbed her temples, and asked if the window opened because she needed fresh air more than another meeting summary. Miguel fixed the latch, the city wind rushing in, and she thanked him like it mattered, then asked his name, and something about the quiet room and the honesty in her voice loosened his guard. So when she asked how long he'd worked nights, he answered truthfully, not with excuses but with facts, about losing his wife, about taking whatever work kept food on the table, about how pride doesn't pay school fees, expecting the usual polite discomfort, yet she listened without checking her phone, without pity, nodding as if every word landed where it should. She introduced herself simply as Elena, no last name, no title, and talked about pressure, about being surrounded by people who wanted something, about how rare it was to hear someone speak without trying to impress, and when she finally stood to leave, she pressed a simple card into Miguel's hand and said if he ever wanted coffee, real coffee, not from a vending machine, he should call. Then she walked away, leaving Miguel staring at the card long after the elevator doors closed, convinced it was just a strange, fleeting kindness, because men like him didn't cross paths with women like that in ways that mattered. He went home before dawn, set the card on the kitchen counter, and listened as Sofia complained about a school trip he couldn't afford, muttering under her breath that everyone else's dad had real jobs, a sentence that hurt more than any overtime shift ever could, and Miguel went to bed wondering when doing everything you could stop being enough. Part 2. Miguel didn't call the number for days, telling himself it would be inappropriate, unrealistic, maybe even humiliating, until the school sent another reminder about the robotics competition fee and his paycheck, stretched thin by rent and groceries, fell short again, and that night, staring at the card under the dim kitchen light, he realized pride had already cost him enough, so he dialed, expecting voicemail, but Elena answered immediately, recognizing his name, suggesting breakfast like it was the most natural thing in the world, and when they met she arrived without security or ceremony, dressed simply, asking questions that weren't small talk but genuine curiosity, and as Miguel spoke about his old business, about routing trucks efficiently through congested cities, about solving problems with limited resources, Elena's posture shifted, her interest sharpening, because she didn't see a janitor, she saw a systems thinker, and by the end of the meal she asked if he would consult on a project her foundation was struggling with, delivering medical supplies to remote areas without wasting time or fuel, offering fair pay and flexibility, no savior tone, just opportunity. Miguel said yes with a cautious hope he hadn't allowed himself in years, and the work consumed his nights in a different way, sketches on scrap paper, models built in his head during bus rides, solutions that surprised even him, and when Elena's team implemented his ideas successfully, she didn't take credit, she thanked him publicly, introducing him by name, and the first consulting check Miguel received felt heavier than money, it felt like validation. He paid Sofia's trip fee without comment, and when she returned home buzzing with excitement and a small medal, she hugged him longer than usual, later overhearing a phone call where Miguel mentioned Elena Voss, curiosity sending her to search the name, shock widening her eyes as she realized the woman who'd been texting her dad about schedules was a billionaire philanthropist, and slowly, carefully, Sofia's embarrassment transformed into something softer, something like pride. Miguel's family noticed next, not because he suddenly wore suits or bought flashy things, but because he spoke with purpose again, hosting Sunday dinners, explaining his work with calm confidence, his mother watching him and finally seeing past the uniform she'd quietly resented, understanding that a job never defined the men who took it, and when Elena visited their small apartment one afternoon to discuss a project, she treated everyone with the same respect she gave board members, thanking Miguel for his insight, praising his integrity, and in that moment, the family's perception shifted permanently, because respect returned not through wealth but through recognition of worth. Miguel still worked hard, sometimes still cleaning floors between projects, but now by choice, not desperation, and Sofia no longer hid what her father did. Telling classmates proudly that he solved problems, that he helped people, that he never quit, and as Miguel walked through the city each night, he understood something he wished he'd learned sooner, that losing respect doesn't mean losing value, and sometimes all it takes is one chance meeting, one person willing to see beyond appearances, to remind everyone else of what was there all along.